And we are live.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the gorilla does not sleep. He watches the news and he looks at the markets and he wants to know what creeps. Ooh-wee, 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 ooh-wee. It's him and CJ. I hear to stop it now in the background. I think I'm being yelled at here, C.
They cannot take your singing anymore.
It's horrible. They couldn't take the singing anymore. That's what it was. Well, everyone, it's Video Girl Condoms Cookie Live with my main man CJ. We are starting on a late start here, Siege, but late better than never. It's had some snow issues here, some weather related things that kind of slowed us down and whatnot. But I'm back to be here, folks. Again, check out our sponsor, RemainCom.net. If you need some funding, if you need your credit fixed. Also, if you need to get involved in the crypto school, it is blowing up. Enrollment is going crazy. Check them out, thecryptoschool.io, thecryptoschool.io. And also check out mygoldusb.com for the silverback. It is the best holiday gift for privacy and security. And with that being said, Siege, what's going on, brother? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, V. Doing great. I purposely held off just so V, as an expression of how much you mean to me. I did not have my second cup of coffee until just now. I waited, and here's the thing: is that I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do during the holidays, like on Christmas when I have my second cup. I guess I'm just going to have to text you or something, during that time period that I'm enjoying my second cup of Java in the morning.
Yeah, that's dedication, brother.
Yeah, that is right.
Yeah, absolutely. You held out this long. Wow. Usually you'll be like 3 cups in by now.
At least, right?
At least.
That's okay. That's okay.
At least. And that's all right. That's it's every great program or corporation or whatnot is built on caffeine. We all know this. It's no secret. We all know this. It's all caffeine that does it. All right. Anyway, my man, where do you want to begin, Siege? I mean, we got some things to quickly go through. Also, let the audience know what we got lined up for the rest of the day. We got We got Cuss with Gus at 4.
Yeah, W's coming on. I just sent him a text to give him an update on the start time. Yeah. So, and hopefully he gets that. But we're shooting for 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with W, and then later today at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time we have Cuss with Gus.
Yes, that'll be excellent. All right, my man, let's get into it then. Gold will fly when China hobbles and breaks the dollar's knees. Siege, what's this all about, man? With all the talk about crypto, let's get some focus here. Let's ground some of these expectations. Let's not make the people forget about the most undervalued, most important asset in human history. Go ahead, Siege.
It's something that we've been documenting a long time, V. And if people do not understand the changes geopolitically that are occurring regarding the China yuan, regarding the gold standard, the entire game changing that's occurring away from the petrodollar. And this goes back to a long time ago with Dr. Rand Paul, when his days in the Senate, when he gave a
Ron
very
Paul.
compelling.
Rand or Ron?
I'm sorry. Did I say Rand? Did I say Red? Ron. I'm sorry. Ron Paul gave a very compelling speech in regards to the fact that right now the monetary order is built around a fiat currency that is completely doomed to fail, and obviously pointed to the U.S. dollar's collapse and the end of the petrodollar. Now, this was dated, several years ago, but if we fast forward, V, to where we are today and witnessing the landscape in the Middle East, for far too long, the petrodollar has been used as a weapon against those countries, and they are saying no more.
Yeah.
They're saying no more. They see the writing on the wall, whether it was Saddam Hussein when he had looked at trading in with the EU and getting oil exchange with using different currency than the petrodollar. We also witnessed the same thing in Libya with Gaddafi. People understand what happened when someone's tried to shift away from the petrodollar, but now you look at the landscape, and it's changing completely now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different ball game, man. I've talked about this, early on in the year. where I said that, you know what, when China announced that the petro yuan standard with the gold trade settlement was going to go live, it's going to go live by the end of this year or shortly thereafter in the beginning of the new year. It's only months away. Do you guys understand? It's weeks away at this point, CJ. Weeks away, where this whole entire changeover happens, and when it does happen, it's going to negatively affect the U.S. It's going to negatively impact the U.S. dollar. Okay, and here's the deal. Yeah, granted, the old people say, well, you know, the whole thing is that the Chinese yuan is worth less than the dollar, so that means all these countries that sell oil, they're going to have to buy large tranches of yuan. Yeah, but here's the nifty part. They can buy that yuan, but here's the beautiful part here, guys. I can buy that yuan, and if I don't want the yuan, I can convert it directly into gold. Why? Well, China happens to be the largest producer of gold, the largest importer of gold, the largest consumer of gold on the planet. And their largest gold market on the planet right now is the Shanghai Gold Price Exchange. The Shanghai Gold Exchange in Shanghai, and then the Hong Kong Gold Exchange in Hong Kong. I can have my yuan converted into that. And why would I not want that to happen? Now it's bringing reality and realness to the market. Okay? And that is the crux of the speech that Ron Paul gave in 2006. He said the economic law, that honest exchange, folks, remember this. And this is why blockchain is also going to play a vital role into this whole entire thing. I bet you money that there's a blockchain solution to what China is developing here. I would not be surprised. Because real growth, real economics with a real physical economy that the world wants to go into, because we are tired. We are tired of manufacturing paper. We are tired of importing paper. We are tired of exchanging paper. We are tired of exporting paper. We are tired of swapping paper and buying paper and doing whatever the hell it is with paper while neglecting the physical economy. Being sold the lie that we're a service-based economy, all the while forgetting the reality that the wealth of a nation is created on the factory floor. China understands this. Russia understands this. Much of the world understands. We understood this better than anyone else at any point in human history, and yet we let our birthright, our beautiful capitalistic system, our birthright, we let it get away because we allowed parasites, which is the government, to grow up and choke it. So when you're having a physical economy, and this is the key, an economic law, that honest exchange demands only things of real value as currency cannot be repealed. You cannot wish it away. You can try to experiment your way out of it, but honest, real economy and exchange demands currencies of real value. The chaos that one day will ensue from this is Ron Paul back in 2006 saying our 35-year experiment, or at this point 40-some-odd-year experiment with worldwide fiat money will require a return to money of real value. We will know that day is approaching when oil-producing countries demand gold or its equivalent for their oil rather than dollars and euros. How prophetic was that, Siege? How prophetic was that?
Wow.
When he's saying that the changeover is going to happen when oil-producing countries around the world start demanding gold for their payment instead of dollars or euros. This is huge. Okay, this is huge. I mean, it's huge enough in the way where if Italy wants to buy oil from Kuwait, Argentina wants to buy LNG from Brazil, or I've given this example so many times, Zimbabwe wants to buy bananas from Bolivia. They all have to buy dollars on the foreign exchange markets first. This creates an artificial demand for the stinking dollars. Do you get it? Do you get it, folks? You get why your dollar is so powerful, because it's an artificial demand on it. It means the U.S. can simply print dollars and exchange them for real things like wine, Ferraris, kimchi, and Chinese electronics. It also helps create a deeper, more liquid market for the greatest fraud for the last 50 years, which is the U.S. Treasury bonds. Bingo. This pushes up prices, and it pushes down yields, which allows the U.S. federal government to finance enormous and permanent and perpetual, always and forever deficits without any wanton care to the harsh realities of what would occur if such a system ran its course, based simply on the premise that the dollar is the world reserve system and nobody else will find another better solution. The petrodollar has allowed Washington to spend an astronomical amount of money on welfare and other benefits over the half of the population. This gives Americans a quote-unquote much higher standard of living than they would have otherwise. Most of them do not know this or understand how it affects their everyday lives. Thanks to the petrodollar, folks, the District of Criminals, Washington, D.C., can also sanction and exclude virtually any country from the dollar-based global financial system at a flip of a switch. By extension, and it can also cut off any country from the vast majority of international trade. So they control it. I sanction you. Guess what? You're not buying oil. Your economy dies. Petroleum is the lifeblood of the economy. You can't get petroleum, you're dead. It's as simple as that. Everything that you have, the clothes on your back right now, the glasses you're wearing, the lipstick you're probably putting on right now, the mascara you're wearing, or the car you're driving, or the bed sheets you're sleeping in tonight, all of which are brought to you by petroleum, all of which are created using petroleum-based products. So if I cut off petroleum from your economy, my friend, you are dead. You are dead. You are going back to a Neolithic age as a nation. And then I can sanction you and prevent any sort of bank transfers. I can seize your assets, prevent the shut down SWIFT, shut down the Fed wire, because all the money's got to get cleared through the Fed. And this was the monopoly of power and abuse that the United States has had for the last several decades. And that, my friend, that great game is about to be over. The question is, what do you do? What do you do? Unbelievable, man.
Yeah, bingo. And I think we're already starting to witness it be, the last year and a half of the retail apocalypse that has occurred. And as much as people want to blame, it's online sales and it's digital, what's that account for the retail sector? It's less than 10%, right? As far as online sales, right. Maybe it ticked a little bit, but I think primarily it's because banks and institutions, retailers operate off of credit. They need that credit, right, to keep their shelves full, to purchase their next seasonal orders. And that credit market for those retailers is drying up. I mean, my gosh, how many retailers did we see close in 2017? And how many more will we see close in 2018? When you think about it, what are they going to do when they're no longer getting the credit? When the goods that are coming from Taiwan, coming from overseas, that they no longer want the US dollar as a bartering system, what does that do? That's why we're seeing so much retail close. Yep. And it's going to only escalate when we see the fact that they're going to have to go buy potentially a different currency in order to purchase their goods overseas, which in return is going to make hyperinflation potentially in the United States. We will see the same thing that we witnessed in Venezuela. And a lot of people laugh at that, like, that's never going to occur here. Well, we've never experienced losing the world reserve currency, V.
Right. Exactly correct. I mean, we can talk to the Brits and find out how horrific that whole time period was for them. Okay. When you understand this, I mean, for us, it's 10 times worse. We are 10 times worse than England. When England lost their reserve status, they still had a functioning physical economy. Okay? We don't have that. Our functioning physical economy is how fast somebody's thumb can move around a joystick. That's as physical as our economy gets. Okay? It's how fast somebody can click a mouse button. That's how physical our economy gets. And folks, let me tell you this. Why is gold so damn attractive? Right? Why is it so damn attractive? It's something that you can have. And this is what, when working, and I've worked in the LBMA good delivery system, where I've done logistics. And one of the things that institutional investors and accredited, large, big investors will do, they love the attraction of gold because it holds no third-party counter risk. Therefore, on the international stage, for trade between countries, it's the best darn thing instead of the dollar. It's a no-brainer. It means I can get paid in gold, which is an international money. It's an international currency, a real currency, not legal tender, which is somebody else's debt obligation, but actual currency, folks. Currency, money, moolah. Like what JP Morgan said, gold is money. Everything else is just debt. Gold is money. Everything else is just debt. Gold is money. Everything else is just debt. So I can have this money with no political ramifications or risk attached to it. And the U.S. has proven the last several years, last several decades, that we are an unreliable partner. We say one thing, we do another. We make a treaty, we break it. We follow no international laws. We do things willy-nilly at the tip of a hat. This is why you might ask yourself, well, how can the world do this? The world does is why. The world is reacting to us. If you want to look for somebody to blame for the devaluation of the dollar, you want to look to somebody to blame for de-dollarization, you want to look to somebody to blame for the loss of the U.S. economy, you have nowhere else to look, folks, than in the mirror. We are the biggest manipulators. We are the biggest fraudsters and hucksters on the world stage. We are the reason why the world is reacting the way that they do. It is us. And this is why it is important that this swamp gets drained as quickly as possible. It is important that this country rediscovers who we are as a nation, that we are a nation of mavericks and individuals. We're a nation of still what I believe to be the greatest businessmen and women on planet Earth. We have the chutzpah, we have the wherewithal, the attitude. Our perspective is something so unique and beautiful, you cannot find it anywhere. Believe me, I've tried. America, we are unique, and we are beautiful, and we are amazing. We're a great people. We're a wonderful people who, because we're so good, because we're so wonderful, we trusted certain leaders to take care of this beautiful land of ours. We even trusted our futures to what we thought were great leaders. And it turned out that these were not great leaders, but these are idiots. These are very, very stupid people. It is time that we get this country back into the hands of what made this country great to begin with. And that is us, folks. You and I are what makes this country great again. CJ.
No, very well said, V. And I think in part for answers, look for why the cryptocurrencies are going off the charts right now. Right now, there's discussions that gold back up. It's because that faith is gone. That faith globally that used to be there regarding we would be good stewards of the US dollar, where in turn the last several years, and both parties are to blame, there is no political solution that has ever been any type of validity in from coming from the federal government. In other words, nothing that they have done has really resolved any matters at the federal level. Absolutely nothing. Look at all the bailouts that we've seen the last several years. Look at the negative rates that they maintain, for several years. They're out of trick. So what comes next? Is it bank bail-ins? Is it when the dollar is devalued, the folks that have their IRAs or traditional 401ks, when they see that wiped out by over 50% literally overnight, when that occurs, why do you think people are looking for the cryptos? Why do you think people are looking for to get out of the US dollar when the dollar is considered so toxic? That's exactly why the cryptos are doing so well right now, V.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Why? Well, again, I'm going to read to you guys what Ron Paul has said back in 2006. Economic law demands, and honest exchange demands only things of real value as currency. Economic law demands only things of real value as currency. And that, my friend, is gold. That, my friend, are cryptocurrencies. Now, granted, listen before you jump down my throats. Yes, there's 1,000 cryptocurrencies, but only a handful. You can count on one hand how many have any financial functions. And the ones that do have financial functions, folks, are killing it right now. Killing I'm loving my portfolio. Loving it. CJ, the next American mess to clean up. What is
well, let's go ahead and stick along this topic regarding the cryptos and the economy, because we should be thankful that there are several cryptos out there, because right now what banks and what financial institutions are waking up to is the fact that this has gotten so far out of control, what they want to control. I'm happy for it, right? I'm thankful that there's just not one cryptocurrency. There's not just one blockchain that would easily allow the regulators, the federal government, to step in and say, well, we're going to do this and we're going to wipe you out. Now they're looking at this stepping back and saying, wait a minute, this thing truly is game changer and we don't know what to do about it.
Right. It is a game changer. We don't know what to do about it. The CFTC chairman, the chairman of the CFTC highly commended the Securities Exchange Commission counterparts for raising awareness, encouraging market participants, investors to be wary and recognize, quote, their risks and legal responsibilities in the crypto space. This is Christopher Giancarlo. He says, I have said consistently that virtual currencies are unlike any commodity that the CFTC has dealt with in the past, and I know they pose challenges for the SEC as well. Giancarlo confirmed that both agencies are in regular communications regarding both digital currencies and ICOs, highlighting the degree of interagency cooperation within the U.S. regulatory environment. He further clarified that his agency cannot directly regulate cryptocurrencies. Correct. The SEC and the CFTC have even established a joint CFTC-SEC advisory committee on emerging regulatory issues to develop recommendations on ongoing issues relating to both agencies. The issue is what I've been saying for quite some time, because I've looked and studied the blockchain, folks. And that's why people who say, oh, the government's going to go ahead and control the blockchain, and they're going to control this, and they're going to control cryptocurrency. This is from the horse's mouth. Here is J. Christopher Giancarlo, a fellow paisan. And he says this. This is what he says. He says that they cannot directly regulate cryptocurrencies. I mean, did I read that correct?
What was that?
Did I read that correctly? Did he not say that? He further clarified that his agency cannot directly regulate cryptocurrencies. He clarified, I'm going to read that to you folks one more time. He clarified that his agency cannot directly regulate cryptocurrencies. He cannot directly regulate cryptocurrencies. Boom. Why is that? Well, if you would have taken my book recommendations, folks, and said, and then when I told you months ago, when Bitcoin was around $300, $400, $500, and I said, go buy some Bitcoin now, you better get some. And if you're worried about the blockchain, go get this book called Blockchain Revolution. Get it. Get Andreas Antonopoulos' book, The Internet of Money. Get it. It's a quick read. Understand the blockchain. Why can't Giancarlo, the chairman of the CFTC, and why can't the SEC directly regulate cryptocurrencies? Because of the blockchain. See, in order for you to regulate something, you got to have control over it. Am I right, CJ?
Right.
I could regulate water. I could regulate the flow of water. Why? I got to build a couple of dams, maybe a few, irrigation channels. I can regulate. That's called water regulation. I can regulate the temperature of my house. I can turn on my thermometer, turn it down. A central bank can regulate currency. What? He can increase the money supply, contract the money supply. He can do twist. He can do NERP. He can do ZERP. He can do TARP. He can do whatever. The SEC could have this regulation, Regulation 3A, Basel III agreements, this regulation, reg. Everywhere you look is regulation, which causes monetary constipation. Regulation causes monetary constipation. And now we are backed up in this junk, and they're looking at the blockchain, and they realize they can't control it because it's open source. Everybody has access to it. Oh, damn. Oh, crap. So all we can do is do what? What can the SEC and the CFTC do? Just give edicts. They can just give edicts. We declare that you cannot participate in ICOs. We declare. Okay. We declare that you have to show your cryptocurrencies through all of our taxing authorities. Okay, sure. Yeah, right. All right. And this is why you understand the most profound statement that I've ever heard in the year 2017 was when Roger Ver has said this. I love this statement. It rang and it rang full of truth for me, and I think it will for you. But this is something you have to internalize with your heart and not so much with your brain. It does not matter what men in far-off lands and the laws that they create. It does not matter. It does not matter what people in far-off lands and the laws that they make and create for Bitcoin. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because the genie's out of the bottle. Do you understand how unstoppable this is, folks? Do you understand with the advent of atomic swaps, we no longer need to use exchanges anymore? Do you realize the innovation? Do you realize that the internet is being decentralized and disrupted as we speak? Good. Let them bring on net neutrality. Let them end it. Put an end to it. I don't care. It's not going to affect me none. This is how it's going, folks. The future's here. And all they can do, admitting it from the chairman, Christopher Giancarlo, here it is, from the horse's mouth. We cannot directly regulate cryptocurrencies. That is a technological reality, folks. That is a technological reality. I don't care what dingbat, Looney Tune idiot you're listening to who says, they're going to create something and sell it to the IMF, and they're going to buy this, and they're going to hold that, and they're going to blah, blah. That's an idiot who doesn't understand blockchain technology. There you go. There you go. Let not your heart be troubled. Let not your heart be troubled. Siege, what's next on the news, bud?
Yeah, it looks like, and again, staying along those lines, and, they kind of innovated the entire, IPO and funding, companies and for startups. And it looks like now Indiegogo, who by far is probably one of the largest in terms of, helping startups do the crowdfunding, is going to jump into the token community by now offering to do tokens versus their traditional crowdfunding, which is a good thing. Indiegogo is a very popular crowdfunding platform, and they are now signing up because they, again, as quote unquote, as the pioneers of crowdfunding, we launched our core perks-based platform in 2008 to help great ideas come to life. Today, we're taking the next big step. We're incredibly excited to announce that you can now invest in the first initial coin offering pre-sale offered by Indiegogo and Micro Ventures. So again, we're witnessing the cryptos, the ICOs go mainstream, V, and this is only going to help, and it's only going to continue expanding. We'll continue to see this growth the next several years.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. And with that being said, CJ, we've come to the end of the show.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
And folks, we'll be back at 1 p.m. We got W on, and then later on it's time to cuss with cuss. Cuss with cuss. All right, Siege. Any last minute announcements?
No, just want to again thank our fans. I know we've the holiday times are always difficult. People are always traveling, but we will definitely get back on schedule. London Paul next week, next Monday. Harley's traveling right now, so that's why he cannot do a show today. So a lot of our fans were asking to get W on, who again, just the information he provides is just so valuable. So we'll do a great show with him, and then close out the day at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Cuss with Gus.
Yep, absolutely. And with that being said, folks, we are over and out. Take it away, CJ.